In the previous video, we simulated a 2D magnetic lifter. Now in this tutorial, we want to learn how to use the Optimetrics and Parametric simulation. To use this part of the software, we have to create a parameter in excitation or geometry of the simulation. So for the first step, I will go to the edit definition of the excitation, and I want to use a parameter as the current of this coil. Instead of using a sinusoidal waveform, we will use a DC current, and for the current value, we can put a dollar sign to define a variable. In the next part, we will talk about how to define all variables at the beginning of the simulation. But for the first use and defining just one parameter, I want to define the parameter within the simulation itself. When you click on Add Variable, you will see a project level variables, and automatically variable center will be opened. We have project level variable start with dollar sign, or design variable or a study variable that are defined with the hashtag and @. Depends on the place that you want to use the variable, or you want to use them in different studies and different designs, you can define the variable. I want to create a project level variable. So the name will be I_coil, and the value will be, for example, 10 ampere as the initial number. We have to select the type, and it is current with the unit of ampere. Now we have one variable in the project level. And go back to the excitation setting, you can see the parameter of the current is $I_coil with the initial value of 10 ampere. So we can click on OK, and because we have the simulation results, it will invalidate the previous results. We changed the variable number. Now inside the Optimetrics, we can create a parameterization and add a variable to be swept. The first step is add a new collection and select the variable that you want to work with. In this part, you can decide about the minimum, maximum, and steps of values for this variable. For example, I want to start from 10 until 50 ampere with the steps of 10 ampere. The variables that are going to be analyzed will be created by this button, Generate Scenario. And you can see the scenario 1 is 10 ampere, 20 ampere, 30 ampere, 40 ampere, and 50 ampere as the scenario 5. And the simulation will analyze all of them. And if you click on Run Scenarios, it will automatically save the scenarios and start to run all steps for each parameter. We used a transient analysis, and it will take long time for each scenario. So let's stop the simulation and quickly create another magnetostatic simulation because we want to model DC current. In this way, we will have just one number as the force on the lifting part related to each current that we are simulating, and it will give us the results so much faster. Now let's create another study and learn how fast we can duplicate the settings of one study to another. We want to compute circuit parameters, the planar XY with the defined user coordinate system that we created before, and with the axial lengths of 100 millimeter. Click on OK, and now we have two simulations, one magnetostatic and one transient. But we don't need to set all the materials and excitation from beginning. We can easily duplicate materials by clicking on Copy Material and paste in the magnetostatic. Again, for the boundaries, copy boundaries and paste it here. If the properties that you are copying is applicable on the new study, it will automatically create that excitation, boundary, or material setting to the new study 2. We want to define force 2, so copy the force and torque and paste it here. And mesh is very important for us again. Copy mesh and paste the mesh here. First, let's see the properties of the winding. We set the value of the current in the transient as the parameter that we defined, and here it is correct. The current value is the parameter that we defined. So click on OK, and I think we can duplicate the parameterization too. Copy the optimetrics and paste it here. Let's go to the parameter setting and edit the definition. Because the magnetostatic simulation is so much faster, we can increase the number of scenarios that we want to simulate. So instead of starting from 10 to 50, I will start from 0 to 100 with the steps of 10. We will simulate 11 different scenarios and click on Run Scenarios to extract the results. Wait a little bit for the simulation to be analyzed, which is very fast in the magnetostatic simulation, and we will see the extracted results. The simulation is analyzed with all parameter values that we defined, and now we have to go to the Results Center to see the values. In the Results Center, you will see parameter 1, and if you click, for example, on force, you will see force values for all currents that we defined, force versus x vector and y vector. Also, you have access to other parameters like inductance, flux linkage, and current too. And let's have a look on parameter inductance. As you can see, the inductance of coil is reducing when we increase the current excitation. Why this happens? Because of flux density saturation in the core and flux path of the coil. Let's see the field plot of magnetic flux density that confirms this phenomena. If you click on parameterization, you can select parameter 1, and scenario 1 was 0 ampere. So there is no flux density and inductance will be seen as the maximum value. But when you increase the current, the flux density increases step by step with the current that we are applying. And when we have high saturation values like 2 Tesla on the middle of the core, the intrinsic inductance of this coil will be reduced. We have more than 2 Tesla in scenario number 7. So after this saturation, you can see the current is almost doubled, but the flux density didn't increase too much. We can see the same behavior in the current and force too. For example, in 10 ampere, we have 910 newtons force. But when it becomes 30, which is 3 times more, the force is almost twice. It's 1700. And in this way, we can see the saturation impact on the force and in the inductance easily. The inductance reduced a lot when you increase the excitation current. So in this video, we learned how to create optimetrics to sweep a parameter that we defined in the variable center. Instead of just putting the variable in the place that you want to use, you can easily come here to the project tree, open the variable center, and define variables in the project level or design level as you need. You can define some variables before the simulation, for example, air gap, with the value of 5 millimeter, which has the type of length with the unit of millimeter, and then use this variable with the dollar sign because it is a project level variable in the simulation that you are modeling. Define as much as variables that you need and use them in your simulation, whether they are geometrical variables, excitation, or other properties of the simulation. See you in the next videos with the more complex 2D simulations.